Hey guys, welcome back. This is Pamela with Pamela's Tarot Tales, and I just wanted to do a video today, kind of an update, a January review, excuse me, and kind of a chit chat about where I'm at, what's going on, what I'm thinking. Um, so I've actually been really, really sick the last week with a sinus infection, and and it's not been fun, but it is improving. I'm still sick. You can hear it in my voice a little bit, but it's a lot better. And I've been working closely with my holistic doctor to help me do herbal antibiotics so that I could heal faster. And um, for me, I I needed to do that because regular prescription antibiotics sometimes cause more problems afterwards for me because I'm very, very sensitive to medications. So I wanted to see what we could do holistically and herbally to rectify this and to heal. So thank goodness that's been working, and I'm getting better and in good shape with that. So I'm grateful. During that week, our internet went out again, so it's been another challenge. The internet has been pretty spotty since Hurricane Michael, because I'm in the area that got hit pretty hard by Hurricane Michael. Fortunately, my house and everything was fine, but the internet has been an ongoing battle since then. But we've had them out several times. They ran a temporary line. They were supposed to come back and dig the ground so that they could bury that line, and they never did. And it goes across our driveway, so we're driving over that line. Plus, we've had a ton of rain this year, so that's been a problem. But I'm hoping it's fixed now, and there won't be any more issues. It is pollen season, one of the pollen seasons in Florida, so that's a lot of people are getting sick. But this respiratory stuff and the sinus infection came on hard and fast. It's like one day I was okay with a little like just running nose and allergies. The next day it was full on infection. So yeah, if you guys are having any issues with stuff like that, I feel you. All right, so anyway, moving on. So a little bit of what's going on with me is in December and January, one of our local libraries was giving away a ton of books, a ton of books. They were either donated books or taking out of circulation, and that our area just won't read them or whatever the reasons are. But there was a ton of books. I mean, a ton. And I personally took a lot, a lot of those books. And I actually took, and a lot of them were nonfiction, a lot of them were spiritual books, and along the lines of stuff that I would find interesting. So, and some of them were psychology books, and there was just a bunch of books. And so a lot of them I think will, one, help with my spiritual practice, and or widen it, I should say, and two, will help with my tarot practice and looking at kind of archetypes and psychology and things like that, and how, but also with the spiritual practices in my tarot and how all of those come together. So I'm looking forward to diving into all of that. And then eventually they gave away a bunch of fiction books that I only picked up a couple of those for myself, but I picked up like, I don't know, something like 100 books or 90 some books for a friend of mine. You know who you are. And hopefully it's all, she says it's all happy and good and love, that books are good. So I have been sending those to her in boxes throughout this month. And I have 3 more boxes to send, one of which, one of the ones I've sent is lost, so I've got to go deal with the post office. But anyway, so it's a big book collection, which I will hopefully do a video on here shortly. Another friend of mine gave away was downsizing her library collection, her personal library collection that had some amazing books that were on spirituality and kind of metaphysical stuff and stuff like that. So I, of course, took all of them pretty much. And now my collection is much expanded. So I had to spend time finding space for all of those books. Right now, my current situation, I don't have a lot of bookshelves. I don't have a lot of space to put things up. So I have put them away in a trunk that I had built that I'm actually sitting on right now. And I reorganized that trunk so that I can open it up. They're all in boxes, but they're open boxes, so I can go in and grab and look and pull from what I want to read. So last year, in 2018, my New Year's resolution was to read more, and I did that. And so apparently that is building and continuing for this year, and that I will be reading a lot more this year, not just a little bit more. So I've had a love-hate relationship with reading for a long time, and I want to continue with the love aspect of it and nourishing and nurturing that. So 2019 is going to be a lot of depth with going into research and expansion and really kind of evaluating where I'm at with things in the spiritual aspect and what resonates. I mean, I know what somewhat resonates for me, but really pushing into diving into that deeper and expanding that so that I can take and absorb that and then discard what doesn't work. So anyway, a ton of books. The book that I read is an old book, but and I think I may have read it many, many years ago. I'm not really sure, but it is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know. But it's a very old book. This one is one I got from the library, and I just thoroughly enjoyed this book. It fit in line with where I'm at spiritually and where I'm in with that journey, and it made sense in a way that aligns with my beliefs and helped me relate to where I'm currently at and what I'm doing and what I want to do and how I want to celebrate this life and how I want to pursue this life. And so this book was profound. I mean, it's a easy read, but it's a very, very profound and such a simple way that could easily be missed. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it is a book that I will be keeping and not moving along to someone else, because it's a book that I plan to come back to and read again. So it's pretty amazing. So that's one book. That's the book. And I really spent time just focusing on that and being okay with the cycles of reading or not reading, but that one I just really couldn't put down. The next book that the books that I'm reading, and I was kind of picking up other books and putting them down, but really I spent a lot of time just going through and organizing the current books I have. The book that I'm going to be reading this month, which I haven't started yet, because I've been working. Sometimes I read like 3 or 4 books at a time, so it may take me a while to finish a book. And then sometimes I read one at a time. It's really weird. But what I'm currently working or going to start is By the River Piedra. I sat down and wept, by the same author. And I'm so excited to see what this has to offer. And on the back it says it's a reconsideration of the feminine, the knowledge of the other, and our own redemption are principal ideas offered by Paulo Coelho and his exceptional novel. I mean, this is just, I don't know, if it's anything like The Alchemist, then I'm excited to read it. The book I've currently kind of dabbling in, I don't know how far I'll get this month, is Awakening to the Spirit World, The Shamanic Path to Direct Revelation. This is by Sandra Ingerman and Hank Wesselman. There you go. All right. And apparently there's a few other authors in the book, but this is what I'm starting to explore, a little bit of shamanism. I don't know how far I'll get in that. I don't know. I'm just interested. It was one of the books that my friend gave to me out of her collection. So I figured, well, hey, let's, you know, I got out my pendulum, and my pendulum was like, yeah, let's start with that one. So I'm game. The other book I have been working on is Tarot for the Healing Heart by Christine Jetty. And I'm kind of just starting it. I'm on about chapter 3, I think. And the first couple chapters, they're good, but they're you know, they're great for a beginner. So I'm kind of, I read them and I'm enjoying reading them, but I'm skipping over some of that stuff. The third chapter is starting to get into the heart of it a little bit and using the tarot cards. I'm getting ready to do that. So that's on the agenda. The deck I plan on using for that is the Star Child Tarot. I think that'll be a good deck for it. We'll see how it goes. This is the Akashic edition, the bordered edition. So, yeah, I won't show a lot of cards from that. You guys are probably familiar with it, but so that's on the agenda for the reading list. The other thing I've been doing, so in, I think it was December, maybe November, I've been teaching myself how to knit for the past couple of years, and I have a local group that sometimes gets together, and it's a social thing. It's a stitch and bitch kind of deal, and it's a lot of fun. But you know, I learned how to crochet when I was in grad school, and I really wanted to learn how to knit. So I sought this group out a couple of years ago, and I said, hey, show me. And they showed me the first, you know, the knitting stitch, and then I've kind of just been teaching myself since with YouTube. And so thank you, all you YouTube knitters. It's super helpful. But I've been teaching myself how to knit, and I made this hat, and it has cables. I'm so excited I made cables. This is my very first hat, and I've been wearing this a lot this year in January. So it's actually been cold enough to wear it, which is awesome. And I love it. So I'm super proud of that. I've been knitting. I had started back in November a project called a shawl called Inara. And man, the color is terrible, but this is a lime green and a dark purple right now, but it'll be a shawl. It's been in timeout forever. It gave me nightmares. It's a very challenging project for me because there's color changes. There's it's on smaller needles. It's on fingering yarn, and I've never used any of those things. It's you know, it's got lace work in the pattern. I've never done lace work. So I learned how to use lifelines. They're amazing and saving my butt. But I just got so frustrated with it that I put it aside. And I'm also not a monogamous knitter. So like I'm not a monogamous tarot deck user, and not a monogamous book reader typically. So it just seems to be my way. But I am monogamous in relationships though. So anyway, so I got that out the other day, and I'm hoping to spend more time with it this month for February. But in January, I have been working on this project. This is just a little scarf. It's the texture's amazing. The colors are amazing. I don't know that if you can even see it, but I'm excited to be working on this. This particular pattern is called Mantra, and look at that texture. The pattern is one that you're supposed to, because it's just a simple 6 pattern or 6 line repeat, but really it's only 3 lines because the repeats are the same. So the idea is that you practice your mantra and you say mantra while you're knitting. And I've been working with that, and sometimes I listen to mantra rather than saying it because I just need to focus on the knitting, but I have really been enjoying that. So bridging some knitting and spiritual practices has been a lot of fun. I worked on, I think it was in December, in a group on Facebook. I worked on some money mindset challenge stuff to work with my money mindset, and there was a 5-day challenge where you're given dollar amounts of each 5 days, and you had to spend it in its entirety, but not on bills and not paying off debt and stuff like that. So, and what would you do that on? And but it was really interesting. It was a great challenge. But what I have seen from that in January 2019 is how that has helped me to shift my mindset on money so that more money is coming in, how that's changed, how things can come out of unexpected places, and then what I do with that money and how I spend that money has shifted as well. So it's been an interesting thing to see that come in and watch that. One of the things that came in for me was there was a retreat, a spiritual retreat, meditation retreat in Ojai, California, with my spiritual leader. And I, my friend was like, I feel like you're coming. I was like, well, I don't know where the money will come from. And so I surrendered to that. And I said, you know what, if you want me there, not to my friend, but to God, I said, if it's meant for me to be there, show me how, help me, dear universe, help me find a way. Let's bring in that money, because I want to go. I want to be there. I want to further my life in that way, and help me understand how to work with all of this. So show me, send me. And the very next day, I got a call from a friend hiring me to do some work for them. So, and it was enough to cover the registration fee, a personal darshan, and my food, and I still owe my mom some money on my plane ticket, but I'm working to pay that off as well. So I said, great, this is amazing. And that came forth. And so it really helped me understand surrendering and giving up that control, or that lack of, just because I can't see a solution doesn't mean there isn't one, or one that won't come in. And working with that. So January, like the 9th through the 15th or something like that, I went to see my best friend in Ojai and went to this retreat, and it was amazing. It's just so amazing. What a great opportunity. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm ready for the next one. So, and so much happened in that time, in being in his presence, and when you're in a dedicated space and time, and so much can happen, and so much shifts, and so much gets reprogrammed in that time. that it then starts to unpack over the next few months, and realizations come in, or things start clearing out, or the teachings start making sense in a different way, or you heard something that you finally resonate, that landed, or there's just so much that happens in that, and how how to talk about that. I don't even know how to talk about it, and and does talking about it change the vibration of it? I mean, does it lessen it? Does it deepen it? Does it, what does it do? So, I'm working through those ideas on how those things are impacting my life, and how I am working with those energies, and how to be more disciplined in my own practice, so that I can be more devoted and more disciplined, and more so I can take those principles and those understandings and apply it to living, apply it to functioning. And yeah, so anyway, Ojai is a gorgeous, gorgeous place, and it was actually really green. They had a lot of rain. It was rained a lot while we were there. And the first day was up on a mountain, and it was my kind of cold. It was cold, and other people were freezing, but I loved it. I just loved it. It was amazing and sunny, and the next day was rainy and cold, and so we had moved it inside and off the mountain. And but it's something really amazing about having that level of dedication and devotion and time and practice and support and community, especially in nature, that can really make a profound impact in ways that I can't quite talk about yet. So, but yeah, it was a great retreat. There was great people there, and met a lot of people that I'd met before, but also ones that I hadn't met. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all of that comes about. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how much you guys want to hear about that, but anyway, it's part of what's going on with me. So tarot, getting to the tarot part, it's been an interesting. Before I do that, this is I have two malas that I made. A couple of years ago, I made these malas, and I took them to use at retreat, but also to have blessed, because I wanted to really empower these in a whole nother level, a whole nother way, and seeing how I interact with them afterwards. So this is the first one, and it's really heavy and big, but it's made out of zebra jasper. This is the zebra jasper, and jade. And this was my more grounding one, and it's just, it's amazing. The sound, the feel, the energy from the stones, the crystals. I mean, they're just, the beads themselves are amazing. This one I chose to do in a bigger bead, because I'll show you my next one. It's a little bit smaller in the bead size, and I have a harder time using it. It's fine, and I use it, but it's a little bit harder to use for me, and I wanted something bigger, and this has a weight to it that I really enjoy, and I know that most people would not like the weight to it, but for me, it's really powerful, really powerful, and now it's blessed. And I mean, I had it blessed the year before too, but not in such a direct way. I mean, it was direct too, but not the same way. So this has been amazing to play with, and use and feel and be part of. So yeah. Anyway, that's the first one. And then the next one is this one. Like I said, this is all this is handmade. I got a little elephant on this one. These are real stones as well. I'm drawing a blank on what they're called. They're matte. Both beads, both malas are matte. All the beads are matte. I just like the feel of them. And I like the look of them. This one is, what's it called? Shoot. I'll try to think of it and put it in the description below. But these are, I think, 6mm, and these are 10mm beads. But they're malas can be a pain in the butt to make. But this was my first one, and they didn't have any of the guru beads at the bead shop I used in Pamela City when I made this one. So I just kind of made up a connector. It's not as nice, but I still like it. This one has the glue bead, and it's glass, and it's amazing. So, but yeah, these are my malas, and I'm looking forward to, I did use them more in January, and I'm looking forward to really exploring those more in February. Back to the tarot now. So the tarot, what's on the agenda this month is the Tarot for the Healing Heart, and working with the Star Child Tarot. In January, I ended up because I did the hashtag 31 Days of Tarot, I just ended up not pulling, not doing a lot of reading for myself, not pulling daily cards. Sometimes I go through phases like that, and I know that, a lot of people don't go through phases, but I want to talk about that just a little bit, and I think I might make a video on it. But I think we all go through cycles, and I think that it's perfectly fine to not always be pulling cards, and it doesn't mean there's any less love for it, or any less respect, or any more, or that you've outgrown it or out of it or don't want to do it anymore. There's none of that. For me, there's cycles. We go through cycles, and we receive messages in different ways, and we each have different tools that may come forth at different times that may resonate, or may be more comforting, or may, whatever it is, may be more, that may just land better in a different way. So I didn't do a lot of tarot in January, but I did do a lot with the hashtag 31 Days of Tarot. So check out those videos if you haven't seen them. And it got me thinking about my tarot collection and what I want to do and how I want to proceed and stuff like that. So I did play with the textured tarot just a little bit. I did a reading for a friend of mine with it, but I haven't read a lot for myself with it. So I'm looking forward to getting back to really playing with my decks and spending some time going into them. A lot of people are talking about depth year kind of thing, and I before this term got applied, depth year and all these videos, and I think it's amazing. I'd already decided that I planned to go into spending time with my current collection this year. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves and what's to come. But this is one that I plan to spend time with. So I think what I'm going to do is, for the month of February, pick a couple of decks and only work with those decks and for the month. And not to say I can't use the other decks, but just really spend some time focusing on that. I did spend a little bit of time with the Animal Spirit by the Wild Unknown. There was a group on Facebook that was doing a challenge, and I actually want to go back, and there were some questions that were asked, and the 31 Days of Tarot kind of took over a lot, and traveling took over a lot. So I want to go back and finish those questions, but this is a deck that I really want to spend some more time with. But I did spend a little bit of time answering those questions, really thinking about it, and seeing kind of what this thing has to say. So anyway, it's a beautiful deck. And I also have the Wild Unknown. I did not work with it in January, but it will be coming out. I don't think it'll be coming out in February for me for use, but it will be coming out, I think, probably after that. So I was gifted this Dodal, Terry Marseille Dodal. So thank you, Maria, for that. And it's a pretty big deck. So we'll see how that comes out. I didn't have a chance to really work with it, so we'll see how this comes up. But I wanted to show it because it was a wonderful gift, and I am looking forward to seeing how I like working with it. So the other, so those are kind of my tarot plans. I want to market a little bit more, spend some time building the Etsy shop in February. I did not do really much of any of that other than the 31 Days of Tarot for January. So the stuff that's going on with animal communication, I will be doing a series on animal communication. There's not a lot of YouTube channels and videos about animal communication, so I want to talk about that and talk about, what it is and why use it, and how I came about my gifts with it, and what does it mean. And but I if you have questions about it, please send me a message, let me know, or write them down below. What do you want to see in that series? Because I think it's something I'm really excited about and really passionate about, but sometimes I assume that people have the same experiences, or they know this stuff already, or they wouldn't be interested in it. And I'm working on shifting that perspective, but also I want to really talk about animal communication. I do have an ongoing client that I work with, and I've been spending a lot of time with that animal, and doing some health stuff for that animal, and some mental, emotional, and some Reiki and some healing, and it's been a lot of fun, and it reminds me how much I love it and how much I want to do more of it. So isn't that a song? Something like that. Anyway, I won't sing, especially with my voice like it is, but I've been yammering on for 34 minutes already, and but that's kind of what's going on with me. I know it's kind of a lot, but yeah, if you stuck with me, I'm glad you stuck with me, and I look forward to really diving more into tarot, and diving more into animal communication and Reiki, and talking about some more healing stuff and my own healing journey, and yeah, where to go from here. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and this is Pamela from Pamela's Tarot Tales. Like and subscribe below, and have a great day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.